the meeting. I'm Doug Brings, the president. Do we have any new members that want to stand up and say, hey, I'm new?
I'm new.
Oh, we have a yes.
Chris
Ham. Yeah, Chris Ham. Yeah, I'm going to say, I know you. Blank, yeah. And how is that Bogals working? Did you get that figured out? I see you post on Facebook.
Yeah, it's going all right.
You probably need to stop by and see me again.
Yeah.
Anybody else new here? We do have, oh, yes.
Just a guess.
A guess? Okay. You want me to guess or you're going to guess?
My friend Judy over here.
Oh, okay. Good. Oh, okay. Well, welcome. Welcome. Are you want to be turners? Or you are turners? You are turners? All right. Well, good. Thank you. And welcome to our meeting.
Thank you.
We have for the members of this group, we do have some benefits such as mentoring. How many mentors are here today? I'm a mentor. We have 4 or 5 here today. We're scattered around town of Grand Rapids. Anybody can come with us and say, hey, can I work with you? You know, I'm having a problem with my bow gouge, or I'm working on this piece I couldn't do right. We're happy to work with anybody. Just get a hold of us. We also have a library out here. It's set up in the hallway with DVDs and books that members can check out and try to advance their learning that way. Another thing that we have is sharpening. If you don't have a Wolverine sharpening system, you should be bringing your tools down there every month and getting them things sharpened. Because I used to do it by hand and thought I was doing a pretty good darn job until I got my Wolverine and realized how far off my ankles had gotten in the last 2 months of me trying to do it by hand. So we have a grinder, a Wolverine setup, and we can set that up on the break. If somebody's got tools here they want to sharpen, just let one of us know here, and we'll get that set up for you. Dues right now are $25 for the year. That's for everybody. We're beyond all the premium, the periods of discounts and stuff. We also have supplies over here. Roger will have that on the break. CA glue. We don't have anchor seal, but we have replacement shields for face shields. We don't have face shields, right? We're out for another month. Okay, but we have glue and some other supplies, and the supplies we do have are a lot less than Woodcraft.
I'm going to try to have full face shields, a few more replacement visors, and I guess on replacement visors, I need to know from you guys who have used the anti-scratch ones. I know they're very expensive. They're what $20 a piece?
I've used one and I love
Okay, is it worth the difference?
Yes.
If I bring in a lot more of those?
I personally won't buy a regular one again because if you're in like even this kind of temperature and you're breathing inside of your shield, it just fogs up. And those anti-fog ones, they don't.
All right. Any pros or cons either way? Please let me know during the break, and we'll try to get what people are using. And I hope to also have a couple 10-gallon bucket or 5-gallon buckets of anchor seal next month.
Okay. Another thing with that, with the face shield, and I bought a Trend face shield this past summer, and then you can get a replacement stick-on that'll cover the front of it so you don't splatter glue on your Trend. Well, that stick-on will fit on your Bionic shield too. And you can get those, they're like $1 a piece or something you get like a 10-pack of these, and they've got the adhesive corners. So if you do buy one of them anti-fog shields, I would highly recommend looking at getting them Trend covers to put on it, and then you just peel it off if you get glue or shellac or something on there, and put another one on and keep going. You don't ruin the shield, because they are kind of expensive, but I do think they're worth it. Let's see, moving on down. Can I get a treasurer's report?
Good morning. Good morning. As of right now, our bank account, we have $6,581 in there. We had a total of deposit last month of $420, which was made up of membership and supplies primarily. We didn't have hospitality last month, as you know, because it was kind of free, so that was not in there. So right now we're doing pretty well, and I think we'll be even better after this being here. So, any questions?
Thank you. Let's see, is George Armstrong here? I haven't seen him. So, okay, we'll pass on the Rolls engine. How's that Rolls engine going? Now that George is in here, let's talk about him. Is that still moving on, or is that a done deal? People are working on their own stuff right now, or is there anybody here who's part of that group? You
I
are?
just thought about building mine this morning, my framework.
Okay, so you guys are at the point where you're all working on your own stuff at home now on it? Is that what you're doing?
I got my plywood by my saw for cutting out for them.
Okay,
That's part of that.
okay. But basically, that's where you're at the project though? Is everybody now has got to build their part at home and then let George know if there's a problem, or? Okay. All right.
Take time.
Okay, all right. The Grand Rapids Public Museum is always looking for woodturners to run their antique lathe. I did it for a while. It's a lot of fun. You're working with a 1905 old huge wooden lathe. It's a spindle lathe. It's behind a glass wall, so everybody in the museum can walk by and watch what you're doing. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. If you're interested in doing that, see Ken. Ken's still doing it, right? You're still working out there?
Off and on.
Off and on? I know the lathe breaks off and on too. Yeah, Dave, you're still out there?
Yeah, I'm out there.
And Ken, you're out there too? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's fun to do, you know, especially if it's busy. So if you're interested in doing that, see one of them and they can get you hooked up. Do we need to talk about festival?
Yeah,
All right.
I'm not sure how to talk about festival because it is kind of unknown right now.
Do we?
Things are really changing. I'll tell you what I know, and that is they do not have the registrations out yet. They're supposed to come out by the end of the month. We're going to have approximately 1 month to commit. So I think they're going to ask by mid to late February to have the registration forms back to them so they can figure out what the space they need. What I do know is there's not going to be a big tent this year. So we're going to have to bring in small tents. If we do it, again, we'll be responsible for all our own, taking all of our own money, charge cards, all that type of stuff, which went really well last year, so I see no conflicts there. What I'm not sure about and how it's even going to work out is if we have to go to a small tent, we can probably get as much room as we need, up to probably 20 feet again, which put together our booth last year. We had, I think, 18 feet last year. But being that they're not very structurally sound, we're not sure how things are going to go overnight. They have committed to some form of security. We don't know what that's going to be yet. My biggest concern personally is what do we do with everything overnight? It's an outdoor festival. We've had, springtime weather come through. The big tents have always held it. Well, what these little tents will do, I don't know. So, if we get involved again this year, we're going to need bigger commitments on time, especially for setup and teardown. Because we may have to remove all of our product from the tables, store them in waterproof containers. I don't think we're going to have to really lug our stuff in and out overnight unless you feel you want to with your own stuff. It is outdoors. And then getting things ready to go in the morning. Last year, kind of an afterthought was the festival committee. To break it down, you have basically two committees working with just the sales tent. You have the sales tent people and then the major festival committee. The major festival committee makes all the decisions, issues it back to the salespeople committee, and then they issue it back to us, telling us what we can and cannot do. Last year, they, after everything was out, came up with the idea, the powers to be say, festivals open to 10. We want the sales tent open until 10. We kind of poo-pooed that, and being that it wasn't in the original contract, they couldn't hold us to it, so everybody decided that it would still be shut down at 9 o'clock, Friday and Saturday night. So that's another possible thing that might happen this year is we may be required to keep things open until 10 o'clock. So that makes a longer day.
And for people who are new and don't realize what a festival is, Grand Rapids Festival is downtown. There's like 50,000 visitors to this. And they have an arts tent, and we, as a group, usually get 2 spots, which makes it 10 by 20, and our members are welcome to sell stuff at this. You know, and that's one of the benefits of being a member of this group is, and that's what the festival is. So we're talking about trying to man these tents for long hours, setting things up in the morning, breaking them down at night, which breaking down at night might not seem that bad, but you can't just take a bunch of wood stuff and throw it in a tub, you know? Things have to be somewhat wrapped so we don't scratch and dent people's stuff up. So that's going to be the challenge. Is,
I think that's going to be the big one, just how we store this stuff, what we do with it, the time involved, you know, many hands make short work, so, you know, we're going to need more than just a few people that help us close out the floor, you know.
Yeah.
So,
What are the dates?
first full weekend of June.
I think it's the second, third. I think second, third. I don't have my phone here.
Just a second here. One, two, three. Yep, first, second, third.
Yeah, that's Friday, and typically we set up on,
Thursday.
but if we're having our own tents,
Well, we're still going to have to do something because after a certain time Thursday, no vehicles are allowed in there.
right,
So
so,
hauling all that stuff in and out, and literally, we're responsible for everything. They're going to give us a spot in the concrete, I believe.
you know,
I don't even know where it's going to be set up this year. If it's going to be back up on the plaza. I know that whole reconstruction project that they've been working towards was supposed to take place already, but it hasn't. It's got pushed back, so we'll have the plaza to work with. Whether they put us there or not, we don't know. Again, that's all up to the major powers of the festival. So I guess what I need to know, and this, we need firm commitments of people that are wanting to participate and willing to put some time into it. I'm sorry I can't be a little bit more forthcoming with what it's going to take to pull this off. I know I think I probably get more worked up about it every year, and it goes smooth. So, and it will depend on, too, how many people are involved, how much room we ask for. It cost us $700 last year for the spot. I, again, don't know what it was this year, and actually we did better than we've done previous years on even paying $700 for that spot and not giving a percentage back to the festival.
yeah, last year we asked, was it a $20 deposit, just
We asked
to ensure the people who volunteered show up?
Yep, we asked for that, and then I think 15% of what we sold came back to the guild to cover our costs. And last year it was a total break-even for us. It didn't cost the guild anything. But, you know, we're not looking at making money with the guild. You know, it's a opportunity for our members, but we don't want to take it on the chin either.
Right.
So, okay?
Okay.
Let me know pros, cons, if you want to be involved. We're going to have to pull this together very quickly.
Okay, moving down the list.
Demonstrations at festival?
Yeah, I was going to worry about that after I get a hold of
Okay.
Fred and make sure our insurance is good and all that. So
Okay.
he's worried about that. So we'll talk about that next. We got a lot of time. That's not as pertinent as the other. Last month we put out a list to see if anybody was interested, or put out a request to see if anybody was interested in being on a committee to get professional turners in here. That would be like at a cost to the members. You know, these turners, they typically get, you know, $700 to $1,000 for a day, plus expenses, and we feel as a group we can afford to do that, but we need people that are willing to work on a committee to get that in. I've had one person said that he wants to be on the committee, but he won't lead it. That's Ron Campbell. He's not even around right now, but he's the right person to have on that because he's in that circle of people. He's out and about, and he sees people. He might be able to round.
He'll be back in March.
Yeah, he'll be back in a couple months. So we do have one person that wants to work with people. So you know, if we get a couple other people to work on this, we do have one person who is going to be a huge benefit to that committee.
I'll help with it,
Okay, Ken, cool. Okay, well, that brings me to the next thing on our list. We were able to submit one person for possibility to win a scholarship to either Airmont or John C. Campbell. We had, I think, 9 or 10 people asked to be in that possible nominations. At our board meeting, we drew a name out of a hat. And Ken Post was the name we drew. And 2 days ago, I got back a notification that he was given the scholarship to John C. Campbell. So, yeah. They said they'd be getting a hold of you in the next week to make arrangements with you. I don't know if that's... Okay. All right, well, good. Well, congratulations, Ken.
There's a demonstration.
Demo when we get
Yeah, we'll be looking for a demo when you get back.
I'm worried about that.
There is a price to win.
Let's go to show and tell. Show and tell, yeah.
One more thing. If you guys haven't received it, Ron did post information on the retreat. It's going to be the last weekend of July. So I forget exactly what the dates are. So I guess mark your calendars for that. It's a good time. You can really pick up a lot. Yes.
For those that live too far away that are going to need to stay up there in their RVers, Lincoln Pine Resort is accepting reservations.
Okay.
And they said they're willing to look at, having a group of us up there. I know I've already made my reservations to be.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
For you others might be interested, the Woodworkers Guild is bringing in Sherwin-Williams Company on February the 13th at the East Kentwood High School to give a presentation on their wood finishing products, stains, dyes,
Okay.
and also they're going to bring in, according to the information I have at this point, their associate vendors on tools, brushes, whatever, airless sprayers, and give a meeting-long seminar on wood finishing.
What's the date of that?
February the 13th at 7 p.m. in the evening at East Kentwood High School.
Can you send an email to Steve Payne,
Yeah.
or to me, and we'll forward that to the group?
Okay.
All right, let's do show and tell. If everybody could line up this way, come on up, bring your piece to the mic, talk into the mic, state your name so we all know who you are, and then we'll go through show and tell. And Ken's going to have a ticket for everybody that you can use on the raffle table. So let me...
You cleaned that same piece for 6 weeks now.
I have 3 pieces here. I have 3 pieces. So I'm bringing these 2 up. Let me go first here, okay? That way I can go over here by the camera. I just have 2 pieces I brought in. I got not talking to that mic. And these are both with our demonstrations, so everybody can see what these look like before and after. This is going to be the piece that I'm going to lacquer. I don't have the back finish yet because I still want to clamp it on while I lacquer. And that's typically how I do stuff. And then I lacquer, and then I'll take the back off and lacquer the back. I'm going to put that on the floor for now. And then this is the piece that Aaron is going to do the muffing on. It's a little cherry bowl. So, okay, so that's what I have here. I'll put them back there and go on there.
Yeah, sounds familiar. Yeah, this started out bigger. When I did the foot on it or whatever in that, it started burn marks in there, so I had to end up buffing them off. And then I took it over to my buffer or whatever, and I told myself, I'm holding on tight, and I ain't gonna let it slip out of my hand. And it went out of my hands in a little mix, so. But yeah, I should have turned that foot first.
I haven't turned too many bowls, and I took a class about 3 years ago in Canada at Woodcraft. And this was only the 4th bowl I've made since that class that I made in class. It's made out of Coca-Cola. It's got a lacquer finish on it. What I did was, because Coca-Cola is kind of oily, I actually treated it with 1 pound cut of shellac as a sealer, and then sprayed the lacquer on top, and then wet sanded it down to a nice finish. So.
Bruce Dannenauer. It's a piece of box elder that I was doing a commission bowl in box elder, and I took a core out of it, just a little tiny core, and So I was practicing some of my hollowing techniques to see if I could get it nice and thin. It's got spray lacquer on it in a satin sheen. So,
Well, this is the piece I was going to bring in last month for the challenge about making a gift, but life got in the way, so I'm bringing it today instead. Walnut hollow inside-out turn with a star on the inside.
How did you turn to a star?
Very careful.
Dave Miller. These are my first attempts at some segmenting. Wanted to get into it for quite some time and finally decided to give it a try.
Dan Quick. I normally turn pens and bottle stoppers, and I took the challenge of doing the offset snowman, which turned out okay, not as offset as it probably should have been. We'll try doing bowls next. Ron Dibble. I done some experimenting with some blue jeans and some epoxy. You know, I made a mandrel and stuck a slab on there, and then I cut it off. And my oldest son, he owns a machine shop, and I said, I'm going to make it a little thicker so I can put a little more round on there. And he said, they call that a radius. Machine shop, right? And this is my first attempt to make a ball cap. Well, I mean, you know, it was spalted ash, and so I thought I'd just give it a try. I got a magnet in there so I can hang it up, right? You know, he could get a green bus and hit the road, man. Be a comedian, right? Yeah. But anyway, you know, I'm going to do some more with it, but I did this and I just thought, my daughter, you know, she don't know about it. She said, boy, that's kind of neat how you got that so round. That's the easy part, right? It's this part that's harder to do. Just one more, excuse me. Last month I was here and I had that platter, remember? And I said I hooked it up with a face plate. What happened to the microphone there?
Battery must have gone down.
Yeah, well, come on, battery, hang in there. And the guy said, one of the guys come up and says, where's this bowl? In this bowl. I didn't have any other one. What happened, I did this several years ago, and I got a better method to figure out how deep it is right now. And, you know, you're trucking along and all of a sudden, ding, 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 uh-oh. You know, you kind of screw it up. You know, if you were in a wood turner, you'd say, how'd you get those so perfect? But a wood turner knows that you went through the bottom. And there's something else. I wanted to just quick share this if I can, because I brought some crotches in, okay? And when you do a crotch, there's 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Well, you can see on this point, on this particular bowl, I didn't have them on the same plane, right? I had this too high, because there's no bark there. There's no natural edge. So it should have been tipped more like, well, you know, on here. But it should have been tipped more. You want to make sure that you got your points on the same plane. And even there, they weren't totally on the same plane, so it should have been kicked a little more. So, but it's still come out pretty good. I got the flame in there. So, but anyway, that's it.
Hang on, I'm going to swap mics here. Always carry your backup mic.
All right, Elizabeth Day, and for Christmas, my in-laws got me the Tim Mueller elbow hollowing tool for me and my husband. So we've been using that lately, trying to get some good hollow forms going. This is one my husband made. This was from a piece of walnut that we were offered due to the fact that we had attended a show in Coopersville and somebody noticed we were turners and just, hey, we got a bunch of walnuts. Yeah, I'll always take walnut. This is one I did. That's a piece of slightly wormy ash from my sister's backyard that had died quite a while ago, but I turned that one into a hollow form. So. Very
Daryl's writer. This is
chunk of cherry that turned out to be rattier than I thought. So I started cutting out the bad spots and playing with the shades and so forth. And that's the result. I like the way the line works around it, some of the openings. It's kind of stirs the imagination.
Yeah.
John Barron, I picked this piece of wood up at the table here a few months back and didn't know what it was. That's the main reason I brought it. Doug Brinks informed me that this looks like apple. He's got a lot of it, so it's now officially apple.
What do you think, Tom? Where's Tom? He said what it looks like.
That looks like the apple I gave Doug.
Yeah.
So, Chris, I've been training for a whole 2.5 months. So I tried the off-center challenge they gave last month. If you watch YouTube, Mike Peace, his channel, he does a nice, he calls it, I think, a multi-axis twig pot. So I kind of took that. It was a guy in Rockford was getting rid of his burn pile because he was getting rid of his wood burner. So I had a bunch of, looked like offcuts from a mill, big 10-foot pieces. It was fun trying to get that in my Prius. But so a little bit, didn't turn out exactly the way I had it in my head, and couldn't quite hollow it out, so I ended up using a drill on the top. But that was great.
Ken Wynn, I am basically a crafter, I'm not into bowls yet. I experimented with a couple small bowls, but I'm not quite there. But I made this duck call, it's made out of walnut. My wife gave me a bunch of small chunks, end cuts. So, yeah, and it's got a CA finish on it. I got 3 coats of thin and about 10 coats of medium on it. With Argonet and Micromax finish, so. And it even works. Here they come.
Okay, we're going to take a break and then come back and have our demonstration. Our demonstration is finishes. We have a lacquer finish, buffing finish, poly white, and CA. So coffee and donuts out there.